Hi knitters, welcome to episode 172 of the Knitty McPurly podcast. Happy Easter to you. He is risen. He is truly risen. My name is Devin. If you want to find me on Instagram, I'm Knitty McPurly over there. I'm on KnittyMcPurly.com. And if you want to email me, I'm Devin at KnittyMcPurly.com. Welcome. I'm so glad that you are here. Happy Easter. It is a wonderful, beautiful Easter weekend. I'm filming this on Saturday because tomorrow's kind of busy. There's the dog outside barking it up. Hope you guys are doing great. So happy to be here a day early. Why don't we just get right into all the good stuff, progress and shop news. So last week, I had a little get together with some local knitters here in Northern Virginia, and these are the wonderful ones that came. Thank you so much, lovely local knitters, Anya and Stacy and Janet and Lori and Melissa and Rachel. It was so good to meet you all and see you all again. For those of you who I'd met before, some husbands came, we knit, we chatted, we purchased some new yarn. It was a wonderful, wonderful experience. They got to smell the Sanctum balm in person, and I had some there with me. So some of them picked up that. I've been hearing from you guys, like, how did it sell out so fast? I'm really sorry about that. I did not intend for it to go so quickly. I will be having it again at Christmas, definitely, because everyone liked it so much. So if you missed it this time, don't worry. It'll be here again at Christmas and next Easter and for the foreseeable future. Now, someone who is not in this picture is Ted, who lives near, I say nearby, he's about an hour away. He drove all the way out to give me a wonderful, beautiful gift. Anyway, so Ted drove about an hour to give me a gift from his mom, whose name is Vaughn. Hi, Vaughn. Vaughn lives in Texas, and she wrote me the sweetest note. And look, Devin McPurly. I love it. She just wrote me the sweetest, sweetest note. And look at this Texas mug rug that she made for me. It's perfect. Like, the sewing is just so good. It's got some threads on it there. The back has the wildflowers. This is a keepsake to treasure, Vaughn. Thank you so much for this. This is going to live on my table up here for when I am podcasting, which is actually a good place for it, because then no kids will set drinks down on it where they will be spilled, because I would cry if it got a spill. And Vaughn also gave me this beautiful Texas mug. I think I now officially have more Texas mugs than any other mug, which is why it's so perfect that next year's retreat is in Texas. A lot of Texas knitters, which is funny because it's kind of warm there, isn't it? Maybe they crank up the air conditioning and just do a lot of, wearing sweaters in the air conditioning in Texas. I don't know. I've literally never been there. I've had layovers in DFW before. That's it. That's my whole experience in Texas. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about that in a minute. My husband and I are planning to go. Yay! Anyway, I had so much fun at the winery. We knit, we chatted. It was just wonderful. I think my most favorite part was getting to meet these wonderful women, some of who I had never met in person. But also seeing what they were working on and seeing the yarn that they were using. That's one of the most fun aspects of hanging out with knitters, is they're always working on some cool project that maybe you've never seen before, or some yarn that you've never used before. And that was really fun. I really enjoyed it. And everyone agreed that this was a great location, which I love because it's a mile from my house. And it was very central. People drove an hour or less-ish, and they said, let's do it again for sure. So we will definitely be doing that. Okay, retreat registration. So there are 8 spaces left, which means that 92 people are signed up. Like, It's amazing. I mean, I'm in awe that so many people want to come. I'm not surprised. I mean, this is a wonderful group. I feel like you guys kind of get to know each other in the comments, and you know each other on Instagram. And a lot of you know each other from the last retreat. And it's just a wonderful group of people. That's the best part about the retreat, is the people. So if those last 8 spots sell out, I will close registration, and then I will start a wait list. Either way, the registration will close on Sunday, April 13th. That's 2 weeks. So if you're on the fence, you're deciding, should I come to the retreat? Is this something I want to commit to? That is the situation. You've got about 2 weeks to decide, unless they sell out before then. So I've had questions about booking the hotel room. I don't know why it is that when you call the Hilton, they don't know about the group. I don't know why that is. Maybe because it's so far out. Maybe because it's just a big hotel that does a lot of business. I don't know. So if you need a hotel room, book your hotel room with the link. It's on the website. I'll link it below. Use that link to book your hotel room for the nights of the retreat, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And then once you've booked those, if you want to stay more nights, you can call them up and say, hey, I have this booking. Can you give me more nights and give me the same rate? Because that is a really, really good rate. I knew it was a good rate, but I didn't really know how good it was until talking to people who stay in Hiltons a lot. It's a 4-star hotel. It's a really nice hotel. And this is like a rate that no one else could get. So it's a good rate, but if you ask them, they should give you that rate for all of the nights that you want to stay, if you want to stay extra nights. But don't call them unless you've booked through the link. I don't know. This is just the way that they do it at the hotel. I hope that makes sense. If you have a question about that, feel free to email me, because I know some people said I tried to call the hotel and they didn't, I couldn't get a room. I had to book at another hotel. Don't do any of that. Use the link. That's just the way they set up these big group things. And that ensures you that good rate. So, okay. When registration closes, I'll be sending out all of the information. I'm totally going to copy off of Lori and Lindsay from Arkansas Yarn and do a Facebook group, because that is such a good way to group. It's just way better than what I was using before. They are so smart. If you don't use Facebook, don't worry. You can be like me and just join for the group. And every time Facebook says, hey, do you want to be friends with this person? You just ignore that. You don't have to be anyone's friend. Okay, I know I'm talking a lot about the retreat, but I get a ton of questions. And if you're not interested in it, just fast forward through this part. But I have gotten questions from locals. There's a lot of Texas people, as we have said, and people have said, what if I don't need a hotel room? What if I'm local? Totally fine. All you do is buy your spot at the retreat, and then you can sleep at your house if you're driving distance away. You don't have to stay at the hotel. That's it's separate, which is really nice, because you can get the retreat and then you won't need travel except for gas in your car. You won't need a hotel room. Great. People who want to come just for one day, there is going to be an option for that, but not until after registration closes. Full registration makes the retreat happen. And while I would like to accommodate people who can only come for one day, I need registration full first. I hope that makes sense. There's a lot of stuff that happens in the background, and I want the registration to be full first. And if you're thinking, gosh, I wish I could come for more than just one day, because a day pass is just going to be one day, then get the full registration. You get meals with us. You get everything that someone who's staying in the hotel would get. It's just that you don't need a place to stay. I hope that makes sense. If not, ask me questions. Send me an email. Leave me a comment. Okay. You can book your flight now. You don't need to wait to book your flight. I booked my flight. Gigi and I are both coming. And, from here, from Washington Dulles, it's one airplane, and we got a really good deal. So I don't fly a lot, but I get the impression that if you book early, you're gonna pay less than if you're booking for, you know, this weekend. So keep that in mind. My husband, like I said, he's so much better. And so we are going to visit the hotel next month, just under a month. We're going the weekend of April 26th and 27th. And I am gonna take pictures of everything and video everything, just like I did last time. I know you guys really enjoyed that, just seeing all the details, like what is the hotel room like? What are the amenities in the hotel room? What does it look like? I like to know that stuff going in. Sometimes you don't know it, and that's fine, but when you can see it ahead of time, like I wanna try the shuttle. I wanna know how long I have to wait. Like, is it quick and easy, or do I have to wait a long time? There's also a Town of Grapevine shuttle. I wanna try that and see how that works. I wanna go visit the yarn store. I wanna try out some local restaurants. So we're gonna be doing that weekend, and I cannot wait to share all of that with you. Okay, new in the shop. Do you remember the Devin scissors? So the Devin scissors are from Kelmscott Designs. Aren't they so pretty? These are made in Canada by a woman-owned small business, and her husband is actually disabled, Paula, and she does all of this to support her family. And these scissors are amazing. I mean, if you've used the Putford scissors, or she just makes a ton of different scissors that all of the knitting shops have. They're very, very popular. I chose for my shop the Devin scissors, partly because they're called the Devin scissors, but not even really. If the Devin scissors had been ugly, I would not have chosen them. I just thought these were so, so beautiful. So I have had these in my shop for years, and you can go pick some up in this black primitive if you're interested. Actually, when I was messaging Paula telling her I wanted some more scissors, she showed me this tattoo that someone got of the Devin scissors. These scissors are so popular that people tattoo them on their body. And you might be looking at that going, what am I looking at? One of the scissors is a tattoo, and the other one, I think it's the one that's in her hand, is actual scissors. But isn't that so cool? So when I went to order these, because you might also remember, this one belongs to me. It's a slightly different shape. But this is from Jennifer Yun, who makes beautiful leather scissor holders. And I have had these in my shop many times over the years. And she and I are doing a collaboration for the summer, also with Susan Smith over at Delightful Works. I've got some fun stuff coming up this summer. So I don't have any of these sleeves in stock right now, but I will in the summer. So I went over to Paula's shop to purchase them in black, and guess what I found? I found that they have them in gold. Oh, aren't those so pretty? And they say Kelmscott Designs in there. You can read that tiny, tiny print. Aren't those so pretty in gold? They're just glistening. So these are in the shop right now if you need some little yarn snips. So as I was browsing and I found that she still has them in black and gold, I also found, oh, red. Aren't they so pretty? It's like an enamel finish. I'm not sure what she has used, but they're very durable. They're very beautiful. I have a small number in red and gold. If you're interested in those are in the shop right now. If you want the leather sleeve, you'll have to wait till the summer. Okay, let's see. Yes, the kits, those are coming. I also wanted to show you, this week I worked on my wildflower tee, and I have modified it kind of a good bit. Not really. This is not part of the design. I'm doing a really thick rib at the bottom because I love the kind of 50s look that it has there. And I think that it will look really pretty. And then I'm just gonna do a regular cuff. Pretty sure that's what it is called for in the pattern, is just a ribbed cuff along the bottom there. But yes, I am so, so excited to wear this. This is so beautiful. This is the Wildflower Tee by Wise Owl Knits. And you can, I'll link that below if you're interested in making one of those. Okay, so our topic of the week is kind of combined with progress and shop news, because I have more exciting news, more exciting things happening in the shop. It's just so much excitement, I can barely contain myself. So yesterday, today's Holy Saturday, yesterday was Good Friday, and my family and I were watching The Chosen. Have you seen The Chosen? If you are a Jesus fan and you have not seen The Chosen, then you need to go watch it right now. There are 3 seasons that are available. It's basically like a big budget, awesome production of the life of Jesus and his followers, but it's historical fiction also. Like, they've taken biblical stories and extrapolated them in a believable way. So they're just wonderful. Anyway, I was watching with them yesterday, and there's this one scene, I think it's from season 3, where this one guy, I forget who he is, he's some guy, and he's in his like house in his work area, and one of the Pharisees comes in. I think it's a Pharisee. He's with the thing on his head. I don't know a lot of things, but I think he's a Pharisee, and he comes in, and the guy whose house it is wearing this vest, and the Pharisee goes, "What is that you're wearing?" And the guy says, "Oh, my wife got this for me. It's called damask. It's from Damascus. And it's this special weave that they do there where it's got part wool and part linen." And the Pharisee goes, "Take that off right now. It is against our religion as Jews to wear a garment that is made of more than one fabric." And I thought, that's super interesting, because I didn't know that. I didn't know that law. And because in our modern culture, I'm not Jewish, and I imagine that this falls under the aegis of hardcore Jews. I think in Judaism, there's lots of levels, and you'd have to be pretty hardcore to not mix wool and linen because, we do that a lot in our culture. But another reason that kind of resonated with me is because I just ordered a new yarn base. It is 50% Pima cotton and 50% merino wool. So if you are a hardcore follower of Judaism, this is not going to be for you. But for the rest of us who like to knit with wool because we like the way it feels, but also like cotton because it's not so hot, it will be just perfect. So I actually looked this up on the internet, and it is from Leviticus 19:19. And it says, "You shall not put on cloth from a mixture of 2 kinds of material." And specifically in the Jewish law, it mentions wool and linen, and this is wool and cotton. I just thought it was interesting and a fun fact, and tied into this new product that I'm going to be releasing very soon. So I thought I'm going to call it Fiji fingering weight yarn because it is for warm weather. I don't know that I'm going to have it year round. Maybe I'll see how much you like it. Like, if you're interested in me having it year round, I can do it, but we'll see. So the thing about cotton and wool is that you've got plant fiber, animal fiber, and these things dye differently. So I had been wanting to have something in the shop that was good for warmer weather, but I don't love the feel of 100% cotton. And I could have done like a cotton linen blend, but that is a whole nother thing with dyeing. You need all different dyes. You need a whole other setup. It's just very different. And I just did not want to do that. However, with a wool cotton blend, what you're going to get is like a heather. So I'm going to be doing my regular yarn colors that I always have, But because the cotton will not take the dye, you're going to end up with what looks like a heathered yarn. And I think that that is going to be just amazing. I'm so excited for it. As of right now, I'm planning on launching this on Friday. So Easter week, Friday. I don't know what the date is. It's probably like the 6th-ish of April. And did I say August earlier? I meant April. April, not August. So yes, that is coming, which means that my next summer knit is definitely going to be a Fiji fingering weight knit. I already showed my wildflower tee. I'm going to finish the wildflower tee and the camisole, the Allure camisole by Kadri that I've been working on. And God willing, one of those things will be done by the podcast next week. I really thought I would get the wildflower tee done by today. And I might have if I had had a little bit less to do. Isn't that life, right? Isn't everything, oh, I could have gotten that done if I'd had less to do. Yeah, that's true of everybody all the time. So I should have that done by next week. Okay, moving right along to the comments section. All right, last week we talked about Karista of Sweet Mountain Crafts, and she replied and she said, Devin, thank you for including the note from Sharon. She is my studio's sidekick and such a pleasure to work with. I am not giving her up. Sorry, not sorry. Something tells me that even if you were willing to give her up, she would not be able to make the commute from Wyoming to Virginia, sadly. She was so generous in her letter, and it greatly warmed my heart. I am blessed immensely by the yarn community and so many I get to interact with. Sharon is a gem, and I'm glad to have her working alongside me. I got a lot of comments about Karista for those of you who have met her, and she is just the kind of person you want running a yarn store. Just pure sweet goodness, a wonderful friend, a community builder. She's like Lori over at Arkansas Yarn. She's what I hope I would be if I were ever able to have a yarn store. Just wonderful. Denise came to my retreat in 2023 and she says, thank you for sharing the tip to snap the hanks before putting them on the Swift. I have untangled some doozies over the years. So frustrating and now easily resolved. Many of you said that. I was so glad. It's one of those simple things that you just sometimes don't think of. There's a million things like that. It's just such a simple thing to do and it makes your life so much better. Denise goes on to say, Karista taught a fun class at the 2023 retreat, but my one-on-one interaction with her is what blew me away. It was over a meal, and before we parted, she took out a notebook for me to sign and write my email address. Then she snapped a photo to include and save the memory. What a first impression. I'm cheering at the news that she will be at next year's retreat. Yes, I had forgotten that Karista did that. She did the same thing for me. She had a little book with everybody's name and picture in it. Like, just awesome. I love that. OMG, Devin, you're explaining how to snap the yarn made me think of Legally Blonde, bend and snap. Now I have to go watch Legally Blonde again. Karen Red Baron says, thank you for the snapping demo. In all my knitting and winding experience, I've never heard it explained quite like that. Finding the ends, etc. Easy and brilliant. I am so glad that resonated with so many of you. I'm so, so glad. Linda said, I was so excited to get a spot at your retreat. I set an alarm and was ready and waiting to register promptly at noon. I've never attended a retreat before, nor do I have a local knit group, so I am super excited to meet fellow, just regular knitters at your retreat, as I am definitely just regular. Thank you for gathering us here each week to smile, laugh, and be encouraged. Hope your gathering at the winery was delightful. That is a wonderful comment, Linda. A lot of people, this is their first knitting retreat ever. I am so excited that you guys are all coming. It's going to be great. Laundromat Girl says, I'm so bummed that the hand balm is sold out. My niece's baby was baptized at the beginning of the month, and I just wanted to hold him all day and sniff him. So heavenly. Please make some more. Christmas. Christmas. L. Bilkey said, I love petite knit patterns and have perused her website a lot, but I haven't purchased a pattern yet because I can't tell what weight of yarn each pattern calls for. Am I missing something? Can anyone tell me how to determine that from her descriptions? So what you have to do is you have to Google the yarn and see what weight it is. Alternatively, you can use Ravelry. I did that today. I only have one pick for Knitting Fantasies, but this was, I can't remember what country the designer is from, Denmark or Holland, I don't remember, but again, she did the same thing where she had the yarn that she used, but she didn't say what weight it was. So I looked on Ravelry and Ravelry had it because she also had the pattern on Ravelry in addition to her website. And I was able to see that it was a fingering weight. So with Petite Knit, you could do that. If you find one on her website that you like and you want to buy, you can buy it through her website and then go look at Ravelry and see what the yarn weight is. Alternatively, you can Google it, which I think is annoying. I think it should say, this is the yarn I used, or use another worsted weight yarn or whatever so that you know the weight. Oak and Wool says, Devin, I had to come back to this episode to say I wound 6 skeins of yarn this afternoon and snapped each one before I wound it. They each wound smoothly and easily into some of the most beautiful cakes of yarn I have ever made. Thank you for the awesome tip. Yay! I hope it is my dream for all of you that never again will you have a snarly, disobedient skein of yarn on your Swift as you are trying to wind that puppy up, probably quickly because you're ready to get on with your life, and it catches and it snags and you can't undo it. Let's just never do that again. Never again. That is my hope. Okay. Karen Davis left me this comment, so be prepared to get angry. This made me angry. Here's what Karen said. I am all about the therapy that knitting provides. I just spent 3 nights in Lancaster General Hospital sleeping on a recliner/torture chamber as my 23-year-old daughter was being treated for post-brain surgery complications. She had brain surgery January 14th. Recovery is a long, slow, complicated process. To add insult to injury, her husband of 2 years left her on March 5th for his boss, who is a stripper. You can't make this stuff up. Okay, he's a dirtbag. What a dirtbag. Karen says, knitting kept me calm through the hours of watching my daughter suffer, praying for relief, and interacting with internal medicine, neurosurgery, and neurology as they adjusted medicines, did tests, and evaluated progress. While there, I worked on my emotional support chickens. If you haven't seen this pattern, look it up. It is just plain fun. I am making one in each yarn weight. I was working on the one for my daughter while there. She needs all the emotional support she can get. Her soon-to-be ex-husband's superpower is narcissism, but she has family, friends, and a church who rally around her and will get her through this. We are home now, and she is on the road to recovery once again. And my recovery from extreme stress will continue with my knitting and my reliance on my loving Heavenly Father. Thank you for brightening my day after a very long and difficult weekend. Oh my gosh, Karen, that is just the worst. Please join me in praying for Karen and her daughter. I can't imagine how hard that must be. Thank you so much for sharing it with us, Karen. This is a good group. Everyone will pray for you. And your daughter, you didn't tell me her name, but that's fine. Well, just you and your daughter. Okay, I got some questions from Marcia from Texas about the retreat, and they were so good. I responded to her, but I also wanted to bring up these questions because I thought they were good and other people might be wondering. She says, I am wondering, why is registration so far away from the retreat date? That is because I am literally a one-woman shop. I sometimes have help, but I don't have employees or anything like that. And it's a big thing. and it just takes more time because of that. Most people don't mind. Some people have asked me about the cancellation policy. I don't really have a cancellation policy. What I would like is for no one to cancel. However, I understand that things happen and things come up, and sometimes you just have to cancel. So in order for me to book the retreat, it's tens of thousands of dollars. And I can't always get that back from the hotel. So what I would like, if you can't come, if you find that you can't come, I would love it if you could find your own replacement. If you can't, I will help you. I fully anticipate having a wait list. Here's what's going to happen. Once registration closes, over the next few months, people are going to say, oh my gosh, I just discovered this. Can you put me on the wait list? And that will be a group of people that we can pull from that can buy your registration from you. So that is what I am hoping. I don't want to leave anyone hung out to dry. That's never my intention. The closer we get, the more difficult it becomes, but it's all gonna be fine. If that is a satisfactory explanation for you, then that's what it is. I hope that that helps. She says, will there be a limit on the number of people who can register? Yes, 100 is the cap. At the last retreat, we had 87, and I would have gone up to 100, but the rooms just didn't hold that many. So this time we have bigger rooms, and we have enough space that we can spread out a little bit. And I think it will still feel small like it did last time and friendly, and everyone who wants to come will be able to come. Okay, she says, if I choose to stay elsewhere, will I still receive all the meals that are included in the cost of registration? Yes. The registration, the list of what it includes is on the website. It includes the meals and the swag bag and the classes and the vendors and the togetherness, and the whole retreat is included in that fee. The only things that are not included are your actual sleeping rooms. So if you don't need one, you don't need one. And if you want to stay somewhere else, you can stay somewhere else. That's fine. And your travel costs if you have to fly in. So I hope that that helps. But again, if you have questions that I have not addressed, feel free to message me. I just realized that I did not talk about my sweater that I am wearing. I'm wearing my original Faucette sweater. This is the very first one that I knit. This yarn is Dream in Color Classy. It's a little bit crunchier than some other DK, but I like it. It makes it kind of feel durable. Is Dream in Color, do they still make yarn? I don't even know. But I love this one. It is more cropped than the others, so I've got it on with this skirt. This is the original from the pattern. Anyway, moving right along to knitting fantasies. I feel like I have talked about a million things this episode, and I know that I have mentioned my design fatigue to you before. Before I get into my knitting fantasy pick, which I just have one, and I looked for like an hour, and the one that I found I absolutely love, but I really couldn't find any others that spoke to me. Anyway, with regard to the Jovis Duster, my original plan was to put this out as a preview knit in March. Okay, anyway, it's Grand Central around here today. My original plan was to put it out in March, and it just has not happened. It's design fatigue. I don't know what else to say about it other than that. And so, because I absolutely adore this sweater, I wear it every time I leave the house, if it is appropriate. And I definitely want to get it to you. So I'm going to be pushing it back to end of summer, beginning of fall. So I can't imagine that anybody is too disappointed. I will still be releasing it. It's just going to be a few months late and more seasonally appropriate. I hope that that's an acceptable explanation for that. Okay, my knitting fantasy pick comes to you today from Trina Bertelsen. I forget what her name is, Rosa or something. Anyway, I'll link it below. This sweater is so retro and gorgeous. It is a fingering weight sweater. It has a main color and 8 contrast colors if you want to do it that looks like this, which I absolutely do. She says that it's knit flat in garter stitch. So then I guess you just seam it down the sides and probably up here. Like, it looks super, super simple. It takes between 1,000 and 2,500 yards depending on your size. And I did not look, I think there's a bunch of sizes, but I didn't look at the exact measurements to see what sizes that there are. Now, it looks to me like if you are knitting one of the smaller sizes, you could probably do your contrast colors with a 20-gram mini. Because if there's 10 colors at 1,000-ish yards, yeah, even a 20-gram mini should be plenty for maybe the first couple of sizes. I'm just guessing. So I plan to make mine in the Fiji fingering. If I make this, I'm either gonna do this or the flutter butt shirt, but it annoys me that it's called a butt shirt. I can't get past it, even though I do think it's really, really cute. So I'll do one of those things, probably. We'll see. I still have those other ones that I like. Hello for my colors. So many good ones. I can't decide what to make next, but definitely I'm gonna be using the Fiji fingering weight, which will be out on Friday, God willing. Anyway, I will link that pattern below if you are interested. And that brings me to, so here's what happened. This is from a lovely podcast watcher named B. B, thank you so much for sending me this story. I don't even think I have replied to you yet because she just sent it this week. And is that the only one that I got? Is the only one that I got from B? I think so. So if you have a knitting story, send it to me. Now, another great thing about this story is she sent me lots of pictures. So I'll be putting up the pictures as we talk. B says, I have been meaning to send this for a while and I'm finally getting it done. I am a member of Fleece on the Duck Fiber Guild. Our local arts council puts on a festival of trees every year. Trees are up and on display the Saturday before Thanksgiving and taken down the week between Christmas and New Year's Eve. Local clubs, businesses, and various groups enter trees. About a year ago, someone in the guild saw that someone online who had crocheted a pair of nutcrackers on each side of a gate. So here's what happened. This is epic. I mean, that's not hyperbole. This is truly epic. We created our own nutcracker. Somewhere during construction, he got named Frank. Judy and her husband Chris made Frank's skeleton from PVC pipe and a few other building materials. It took months to accomplish this. I bet it did. Wow. Frank was then moved from Judy and Chris's garage to Cindy's house, where Cindy measured, designed, and drew up patterns. Members of the guild crocheted and knitted various parts and accessories. Frank is mostly crocheted. His lapels and cuffs are knitted. Frank was dressed in 2 months. He was awarded several prizes. And did I mention that Frank is approximately 11 feet tall? Wow. I have 18 photos that I will send showing Frank in his various stages of development and completion. The final photo is of me with my great-grandbabies beside Frank. Oh my gosh. B, this is amazing. I am in awe of Frank. He is fabulous. You know, something like this, like it went on display and it was amazing, but it reminds me of like, you know, the knitted banana covers with the little thing at the end, or like something that's not useful, but is still amazing that you knitted it. In this case, mostly crocheted it. Wow, what yarn did you use? That's what I wanna know. Is this like Red Heart? I would imagine that you went and got inexpensive yarn, but I don't know. I'd love to hear more about it. So maybe B will give us a follow-up for next week. But oh my gosh, so good. If you have a knitting story, send it to me. Devin at KnittyMcPurly.com. I would love to share it on the podcast, take a video, take an audio recording, write it out and send me pictures, whatever. This is our oral tradition and we got to keep it going. Happy Easter. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful Easter weekend and I will see you here back next week. Bye, knitters.